Eric Carmen and Hungry Eyes. Well, a few moments ago there we were talking about a Twitter novel. But now the question, is Twitter boring? Writer and broadcaster Stephen Fry, as you know, is a well-known Twitterer, etc., etc. He's got so carried away with his Twitter account that he's going to have a stage show based on it. I'm not so sure. I'm joined in the studio by Nigel Morgan from Morgan PR, based in Newbury. Nigel's a strong believer that Twitter is not boring and can be a useful tool for a wide range of people. Nigel, thank you for coming in. Your contention is not boring. My contention is that it may well be irrelevant. But I suspect that you, being in a PR company, see it as actually perhaps a useful, practical communications tool.
Absolutely. I mean, it's essentially another sales channel. So just as you might advertise on the radio, in newspapers, Twitter's another area where you can do that. It takes a lot more finesse because, the clue's in the title, it's social media. So you actually do need to be social on there. You can't just go on there and sell. There are very few people who can afford to simply broadcast on Twitter without actually engaging.
I don't understand that.
Well, you get some businesses join Twitter or even individuals, and all they do is they just talk. And you actually need to engage. You need to talk to other people, not just shout out.
How do you join Twitter?
www.twitter.com and follow the instructions there. It's literally a 2 minute.
How much does it cost?
It's free. It's free, and it's so simple to sign up. And then it's the terrifying thing is, what's the first thing you say? Because you've got to it asks you the question, what are you doing? Most people just say, joining Twitter. Then when it's about sort of revealing elements of your life that don't sort of reveal your darkest secrets, although plenty of people do, and then engaging. And it's very strong. There's a very strong community in West Berkshire, in Newbury in particular, where I'd say there's close to sort of 150, 200 people using Twitter on an almost daily basis. The other day I wanted to know the name of a florist. I asked that question on Twitter and got about 20 replies. 12 of them said the same florist. Kind of the results were in. It can be a simple, useful tool like that. But if you're social, the way we would advocate using it was to talk about things. I talk about when I walk my dog. I'm getting fit at the moment. I talk about that.
Who do you imagine is the recipient, the awestruck recipient of this? Good heavens, that chap Morgan is walking his dog.
I have a client that I got solely on the basis that he too has a border collie.
Okay.
So it can work in that bizarre way. Other dog owners, and this is the amazing thing. We used to sort of work on word of mouth, and we still do. You network, you meet people, you like them, you do business. Where that's become word of mouse, you go onto Twitter.
Word of mouse. I love that. That's cracking.
It's not. I can't claim it as mine.
Claim it. I'll use it. I'll claim it.
If you get to that stage, so I get people who follow me on Twitter, and I've got nowhere near as many as Stephen Fry, but I've got just shy of 8,000 followers on Twitter. Now, I don't know all those 8,000. I probably engage on a regular basis with no more than sort of 50, 60 closely, and then maybe 200 on a slightly wider basis.
So do you use it partly as a business tool?
Absolutely. I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't making money. And I don't think any business should be doing it unless it's making them money. So, you add value, you talk about it, but it's a great way to drive traffic to a blog, for example. So, if you're a law firm and you're writing about things that are relevant to people by tweeting about it, you get more people to go to that blog. Now, remember, it's not just what you say. The power in Twitter comes from the retweet. So you were talking about 120 characters. If you pull that back to 140 characters, if you pull that back to 120 characters, you leave enough space that anybody reading it can retweet it to their followers. Now that means
I see what you mean.
So I tweet something and it goes out to 8,000. If any of those retweet it, it goes out to however many people they're following. Good example. I ended up much similar conversation about the internet on the BBC World Service a few weeks ago, and the activity that created on Twitter was phenomenal. I picked up about 200 new followers, people around the world actually engaging, talking about what I'd been saying, not always agreeing with it, but it's an engagement tool, and I would say that, wouldn't I?
No, that's
doing
fair
the
enough. I
business
think
that
you've
I'm
made a
doing.
very reasonable case for it. And I mean, I'm not cynical about it. All I am, I'm curious about it. You know, what does it do? What can be? And I begin sort of to unravel my, not concerns, my ignorance about it. And I can see that being used almost as a self-advertisement for a product, say, or as a social networking.
Yeah, and it's, you know, Reading has them, Newbury has them. We have regular tweet-ups, which are meet-ups, where people on Twitter actually get to meet in a bar, real world,
Really?
real drinks. And I've met people that I wouldn't have otherwise...
That's bordering on train spotting, though, isn't it? I mean,
well, you'd be surprised. There's one or two geeks there, but most of them are actually interesting people. It's the switchboards just light up then, did they? It's good. You know, it's most of all, it's fun. You know, Stephen Fry is I don't follow Stephen, but I do occasionally look on in his Twitter feed, and he's just wonderfully irreverent in there. Different people have different styles. Tweeting about coming here this morning, there's a copyright on there who's wordwrite on Twitter, and her name's Joy McCarthy, and she recalls writing a promotional piece for you over an album in some distant thing, when she said, and you were lovely and didn't change a single word she wrote. Now, I wouldn't have known that if it not for Twitter.
I'm not sure that it has added greatly to the sum of your knowledge, but it has its own certain curiosity. I tell you what, Nigel, thank you very much for coming to us. That's Nigel Morgan. He's close to persuading me that Twitter is not boring. He's certainly doing his best, but that's what you would expect from a successful PR man from his Morgan PR agency based in Newbury. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is the Stereophonics.